everybody. My name is Al Nicoletti. I'm an attorney here in Florida, and welcome to the Al Nicoletti Show, where I bring on real estate super investors, rising rock stars, movers and shakers, and leaders of clubs in the community that educate, entertain, and inspire all things Florida real estate, on how you can take your company to the next level. On my show today, on the live Al Nicoletti Show, we figured out the whole live stream. There's something that happened there early on, and we got it. We're live. We have the great Kurt Stein from HouseScan Florida Inspections, the HouseScan Inspection Company. He's a pro. This guy has created this company, and he's the owner of it. He does all these inspections for all these homes. We're going to dive in on what an inspection even is, what it's like. He's going to break it down from start to finish. He's not going to do a live inspection, although I would really want him to do one. But we're going to talk about that. And he is partner of House Bright Jacks Cleaning Company. We're going to talk about exterior cleaning company on the outside of the home to make it look beautiful and shine like you've never seen it before. We're going to talk about all of that. But Kurt's not just an owner of a company. He's a leader of a community. He loves bringing the community together. He's been hosting the Spikeball tournament that just happened in May. He believes in Jacksonville. He believes it's going to be the shining city for 10 years. It's going to be the center of the universe. We're going to talk about what that is and how he sees that. But Kurt is an influencer. He's not just the owner, but he's the influencer in the community. So without further ado, Kurt Stein, welcome to the Al Nicoletti Show. It's so good to have you here. We've never met in person. The first time actually seeing each other on video, and I'm so happy you're here, and we get to learn all about Kurt Stein and what you do. So welcome.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. Awesome intro.
Hey, I mean, I work on it from time to time, right? I do so many of these, and you never know which way they're going to go. And I have that improv background, so I love doing all of this stuff. So, Kurt, for those that don't know who you are or what you do, tell everybody, who is Kurt Stein? What were you doing before you owned this company? How did you come to realizing that this inspection niche was going to be something that you wanted to grow and brand, right? Like I'm inspired by that. I didn't think about that until I had you on and backstage. I was like, wait a second. He took a niche and made it a company. It's a brand. So how did you get there? Like, how did you get here?
Yeah, so I'm not from Florida. I'm from Pennsylvania. So I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I went to Penn State University. I got an engineering degree up there. And after college, I ended up moving down. I had a couple different options of cities that I could move to. I got a full-time offer from Kraft Foods. One of their locations was down here in Jacksonville at Maxwell House downtown. And so I took a job there in an engineering role, and I started doing that pretty much right out of college and moved down here at the age of 22, I think. I've been here for about 8-9 years now. And yeah, so my background is engineering. And then once I was at Maxwell House, after a couple of years in engineering, I kind of had switched into operations. And so it wasn't project-based or, cost savings based. At that point, it was really kind of running my own little business within Maxwell House. So when I was there, I kind of, many things happened over the years, but I was there for about 4 or 5 years, and I kind of took on more and more responsibility with my time there. So eventually, before I left, I was kind of running the entire factory for my shift, which was, an amazing experience for a 26-year-old kid.
So you knew then that you had this mind of, I can run a company, I can be the operator of something, and if I'm running it, I can do my own thing. So at that point, did you realize then you wanted to do something with inspections? Like, how did you get into that real estate field right there?
Yeah, no, good question. At that point, I don't know if I knew it at that time. So I was still kind of growing my confidence, really learning just about all kinds of different things. I started getting involved in real estate investing. So I had bought a property at the beach, kind of house hacked it. I lived there, rented it out to 3 different roommates, basically lived for free. And then did that for a couple of years, and then ended up moving, buying another property, and just rented that last one out. Now, at the new property, again, pretty much living there for free, making the residual income from the last property. And yeah, really just getting involved in investing, what to do with my disposable income instead of spending it, put it towards something that can make me money over time and get me in a better financial position. And then I had left Maxwell House. So at that time I had 2 houses and, some other investments and some other little things. but I was really kind of building towards something. Didn't know what at the time, but I had left Maxwell House. I took on a similar role at a different company, so much less responsibility, much higher pay. So it sounded like a great thing at the time, but that company ended up getting bought out 1 month after I took that job, and they just let go of everybody. So that was definitely an eye-opening experience. And then I took another similar role, an operations manager role, at a company that ended up just being, probably the worst 6 months of my life. Really terrible work conditions. I did not get along with my boss. The pay was decent, but I was literally working, gosh, it had to be 15, 16-hour days, 6, 7 days a week in an industry that I wasn't totally familiar with. So it was a really, really hard 6 months. And I kind of, at the end, I kind of had lost all of it. I hadn't seen my friends in 6 months, girlfriend at the time, I definitely didn't see her at all. And it was kind of it was terrible. It was like dark days, right? And so I quit that job. And, looking back on it, in those 6 months, it was probably the worst 6 months of my life. But looking back on it, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. So, yeah, it kind of taught me how not to run a business, how not to run an operation, how not to treat people. And so I kind of have all those things in my, tool bag or in my back pocket on how not to, operate. So at that point, I was kind of in, a decent financial position to where I had been working my butt off for, 6 years at that point. And I decided to take 6 months off and travel. And so I went to Thailand for a month. I took a road trip around the US for a month, did a bunch of little trips here in the States, visited friends and family, and really just reset the batteries. So that was like an incredible time where, I got to see places that I never saw before and reconnect with people. So that was really, really good. And then, so how the home inspections kind of came about, like I said, I was kind of had invested in a couple properties. My now wife, Stephanie, her and her whole family, they're all involved in real estate one way or another. So she's a realtor. Dad is a broker that started, some of the Keller Williams offices in the area. And, there's lender in the family. Everyone kind of does something, right? And so we were all out to dinner one night at Hawker's in Atlantic Beach. And we were all kind of talking about home inspections. And Steve, Stephanie's dad, he always kind of had an idea of, starting a home inspection business. And we were out there kind of talking about home inspections. And I had a few that I wasn't terribly impressed with. And I think that was kind of the consensus in the room, that there was, everyone kind of had their own pain points, right? I was upset because I think my inspector made me attend the inspection and hand him a paper check to pay for the inspection. I had things missed in the past. I had a water heater when I moved in. It was leaking everywhere and caused a bunch of mold up and down my walls. And I think everybody probably has stories like that. But we're sitting around this table and everybody's kind of giving their examples of things that they, weren't terribly thrilled about. And it kind of just blinked. It kind of, the light bulb blinked. And Steve, Stephanie's dad, looked over at me and he said, "Kurt, it's time to start a home inspection business." So that was kind of the inspiration for it. And it, just felt like right. All the planets kind of aligned. I think I had a great background to be able to start a business like this and really deep dive and put everything I had towards it. And it's been an incredible ride.
Yeah, you touched up on a lot of points. And just so you know, each guest that comes on the show, I usually have like a different set of questions because, if you were more investor, I'd have more investor questions on like
Sure.
marketing, strategy, and deep diving on niches. But for you, I kind of went to a couple other things that were interesting about, like you said, like you saw those 6 months about how not to do this and how not to do that. Like you can learn a lot about what the wrong thing to do is and how you would do it differently. That's one of the best ways to learn, is seeing somebody else's mistakes and
Absolutely.
not doing it and then implementing it into your own business. So for you, I had things on business, how to treat employees. And I kind of want to dive in on that because you're a growing business. You're retaining employees. So you're obviously doing something right on that level. But for you, not just on the inspection ends, because I want to know what that is like, what inspections are, like how do you do it? But what has it take? What what steps have you done to truly make your business great and successful? Is it just even holding business meetings? Is it holding the employees accountable? Like, what is it? Is it all the brand and the networking? What are you doing to make the business thrive and make it the empire, the HouseScan inspection empire it is?
Yeah, so a lot of it comes back to that initial dinner at Hawkers. So at that point, we're all customers, right? We're all, we've been through inspections and we know what went well, what didn't go well. I think if you look at a company like Amazon or Apple or Tesla, any of these big companies, they're so customer focused, and that's really what we do. So it's extremely, obsessed with the customer and doing a good job for them. And that initial, dinner, we had all these pain points and things that, that we could do different, or maybe not totally different, but slightly better than everybody else, right? And when you do 20 or 30 of those things, it's a profound difference. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it was things like electronic payments, right? Invoicing over the internet. I think we were one of the first companies in Jacksonville to offer an online scheduler to where somebody can actually get on our calendar just by hopping on our website, and they could do that at 3 a.m. and don't have to worry about calling us during business hours. And so that was an incredible value add. We were one of the first companies to do completely transparent pricing. So all of our pricing from day one has been on our website. So housescanfl.com/services. And then, we got a lot of pushback and a lot of flack from some of the other inspectors in town, but now there's a lot more companies that are doing that. And it's incredible to see, because as a consumer, I always think, if I'm in a restaurant and the menu's there and there's no price tag, for me, it's incredibly frustrating. I would hate to pick up the phone and call 5 different inspectors just to figure out what their price is when I could find out in 10 seconds just by hopping on their website. So that was a great value add. And really, we thought like the customer. What does the customer want? We got super lucky. There was a brand new software out right when we basically started the business. And, it put together just an incredibly beautiful inspection report. So that was great. A lot of the old inspection reports were very clunky, not super easy to read. Pretty much all you would see is just a ton of fine print and, how to basically the inspector protecting themselves, because there's a lot that goes on in houses and there's a lot of things that you can miss and a lot of things that are just outside of the scope of a home inspection. But yeah, it's things like that. And then I think with my background and, really trying to figure out how to communicate the issues to the client in a matter of fact, non-alarming, but very just true and accurate representation of the house is really what folks are looking for. They're looking for perspective. A lot of the inspection reports that you look at, it's just a jumbled list of 100 items. And there's, somebody that's walking off the street that has never bought a house before, has never owned a house, or never maintained a house. They don't know the difference between, a major foundation issue. Well, a foundation issue versus, just bad example here, but replacing a light bulb, right? Everything was kind of just put into a long laundry list. And so what we started doing was categorizing everything in minor, moderate, and major deficiencies. And so again, that's a great value add. But there was just a lot of examples like that. Another one that I'm thinking of, actually 2 that I'm thinking of is, so there's infrared technology. A lot of inspectors use an infrared camera. We were one of the first in Jacksonville to start using it on every single inspection to basically scan the entire house to look for hidden issues like moisture intrusion, roof leaks, plumbing leaks, missing insulation, bunch of other items, but it's just kind of an extra layer added onto the top of a home inspection. And then last thing I'll say, and I'm getting wordy here, but we provided free wind mitigation reports and 4-point reports, complimentary with every home inspection that we did. So we kind of saw it as, for us, we're already on site. It takes a few extra minutes to take a couple extra pictures to compose that report. It's just a few minutes. And so we couldn't really justify what a lot of inspectors were doing, which is charging $75 or $100 for those reports that take just a few minutes to put together. So another great value add.
It seems like I'm hearing everything you're saying, and it seems like what a lot of people do inspections, right? But you refined a system. You made it cleaner, you made it clearer, and you found a way to make it a system and communicate it better to your clients. And that seems to be the way that you are separating yourself from the competition. That's how you're doing it, as you're making it a system, which is different. And tell us more about what inspections are. I don't know anything about what that is, right? Like, I could tell you about probate all day, but I don't know anything about inspections. Like, start from the beginning. Like, you get the phone call, they say, "Hey, we're selling a house." Like, why do we need you? Tell us why we need Kurt Stein and the house inspection crew. Like, what is it? And bring us from start to finish on what are we looking at?
Yeah, so I'll start off by saying that they are not required. That's a common misconception in the real estate transaction community. Most realtors will just go to you and say, "Hey, order your inspection. It's great for us, but you 100% do not need a home inspection. It's a luxury. We're trained professionals that are in houses all day long, all day, every day, and we're going to be able to help provide you context and understanding of the condition of the house. So that's the main kind of idea of a home inspection, is really just to understand it, understand what you're getting yourself into. Again, probably a lot of the folks listening here are real estate investors, folks that are around houses all day, every day. They probably have a pretty good understanding, but most folks out there have no clue what's going on inside their house. If you go into most rental properties, they're not maintaining the property. They don't know where the air filter is. They don't know what the air conditioning system is, what the electric panel is and what it does. And so we're really going through, we're looking at all the systems in the house that are visible, and readily accessible, because obviously stuff that's hidden underground and stuff that, is maybe in an attic that we can't get into or whatever, can't get there. But basically we're inspecting everything that we can get our hands and eyes on, and helping protect that home buyer. So that's the gist of it. Other intricacies, like, there's insurance requirements. So like I said, we put together the 4-point and the wind mitt. It's complimentary. So that's a report that goes directly to the insurance agent that helps them determine the insurability of the property. And then, that's the main gist. There's a couple other reasons that people get home inspections, but the main overarching one is the just understanding the general condition of the property.
So, like, what would be like the like top 5 things that somebody should be on the lookout for when getting an inspection in any house? Like, I haven't even purchased my own home yet, and I wouldn't know the first thing about what to look for. I'd be like, "Hey, that looks great." Like, what are the first couple of things I should be like, "You need to look at this, you need to be careful of this," and like share some stories if you have anything about somebody that's bought a home for the first time and then you save them, or you notice something and then they said, "Hey, I'm not buying this." Like, what are we looking out for
Sure.
specific?
Yeah, so I think for most people, the 4 major systems that are in the 4-point report, so it's roofing, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. Those are kind of your 4 major systems. The fifth one that would get added on to that would be structure and foundation. And so those are probably your 5 big hitters. If you need a new roof, you're looking at, for a standard house, probably 15K or so. Plumbing could be very costly to replace all the both supply piping and drain piping in your house if they're problematic. Electrical, a lot of older houses can have electrical issues where you might need some repairs performed, or maybe even a complete rewire in some certain cases. And then the last system would be the HVAC system. That's, obviously for the heating and cooling of the house. And that's pretty cut and dry. But obviously, if you need a new system, it could cost, multiple thousands of dollars to replace the system. So obviously, when you buy a house, there's a lot of risk. Getting a home inspection is one way that most folks can significantly decrease the risk. Now, it does, we're never going to catch every single issue in the house. Everybody kind of has different expectations for, what they're looking for in the house that they're purchasing. And so, there's always going to be things that come up, but we're never going to be able to reduce the risk 100%.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to find. I mean, you
Yeah.
never know something that you didn't see, but then I'm sure you have all your disclaimers out there, right? You have everything to protect you. But my next thing to talk about with you is not only are you owner of the HouseScan Inspection crew, but also of House Bright Jacks. Tell us about that partnership role. Like, how did you get into that? What's that business been like for you? So, I mean, again, you're an entrepreneur, right? So you're not just owner of one company, but you see the opportunity of other things that come that's real estate related, right? So this isn't just about investing. This is about services that can help people buying their homes or selling the homes, right? So what's that
Mhm.
collaboration been like?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's very much different from the home inspection world. That's my baby. So the home inspections is where I spend 98% of my time on. And I'll step back a little bit, So early on in home inspections, we put together this amazing service, right? And we were just growing like crazy in the beginning, and we still are. But at this point, we're a team of 10. We probably have about 10% of the market in Jacksonville. So we're probably doing about 1 in every 10 inspections. And we've grown just really, really fast, probably faster than most other inspection companies out there. Maybe probably one of the top few fastest growing in Florida over the last 5 years or so. And so there's some people around me that saw that. And my roommate at the time, Kevin, he was a tennis professional, barely kind of scraping by. It wasn't the best situation that he was in. And he saw what I was doing with home inspections and, growing like crazy and having, great time doing it, but putting in, a ton of work. And he's busting his tail, with his tennis lessons and, coaching and everything that he was doing, but not really reaping the rewards of it. And so I just said to him, look, Kevin, go pick literally anything. How hard you work, you can go do anything and be great at it. And so, we were kind of talking just off the cuff conversations for a few weeks, few months. I had kind of thrown pressure washing at him because I think, and I'll say this, it's my understanding of it now versus 2 years ago is entirely different. Most people think it's easy. Anybody can go pressure wash anything. It is extremely difficult work. Lot more capital costs to start a business like that than anybody would ever think. But so he pretty much came to me and he didn't even tell me that he quit his job at the time. And he just said, hey, Kurt, help me start this pressure washing company because I'm going to do it. And so at that time, I had literally zero desire to really start another business or to work on another business. So I said, look, I can put up a little bit of capital. I can, help with strategy and branding and, some of the things, marketing, relationships, some of the things that I can easily provide, but I am not going to be, involved in this business on the day to day. That's where you and your 24 hours come in. And he's just been like, we put this thing together, kind of similar branding, House Bright, HouseScan. And he's just been like really impressive to watch and grow and like to see his confidence go from where it was to where it is now. And I think, it sounds weird, but he can clean any building 10 times better than anybody else out there. There's some, pretty high profile real estate folks that I don't know if they're listening or not, but he cleans a lot of these folks' houses and just does a dynamite job. And yeah, so we've got 2 trucks going on 3 trucks and growing the business. We just bought a little commercial property, a little fixer upper over on Emerson. So this thing was, we're about 3 weeks into the renovation, but this place was just, it was covered in trees. It looked like a jungle. So if you're swinging by Emerson, you might see it, but that's really exciting for, a property that they can really grow the business in, so there's space for about 10, 12 trucks. And yeah, it's going to be a really, really great opportunity to grow into something and be centrally located, be able to service all the different parts of the town. So yeah, just really excited about it.
I like how you focus on a certain business, right? You're not everything, right? Like I think with the inspections and then the house cleaning, but it's a certain type of the exterior cleaning. It's focusing on a niche or a service and just constantly hitting it and being the best at it. And I think that's also a part of your mindset, right?
Yeah, it always just goes back to like, what exactly does the customer want and need, and delivering that to them, the best quality best prices, most convenient, just delivering the most amount of value. I mean, that's like everything for me is like boiled down into how can I deliver the most amount of value. And once we kind of figured it out, what the service would be, it's getting it out to the masses, right? It's, instead of doing 2 inspections a day that I could do from, myself, how can we do, we're doing 11, 12 inspections a day right now. And eventually I hope we're doing 100 inspections in a day. So
As
that's
far
it.
as far as the exterior cleaning, what are you all doing that's making it 10 times better than everybody else? Like, are you turning up the knob that's hitting the pressure washer even better than everybody else? What's happening that's making it look better and brighter than the competition?
So that business is a little bit different. It's a lot of the equipment is standard, right? But it's attention to detail, it's customer service, it's responsiveness, pricing, transparent pricing, how we quote. We have an online scheduler that's out there. Again, it's a lot of those things when I put myself in the consumer shoes, what is it that I'm looking for? And just drilling down on each of those and trying to make it better.
It's great. I mean, if you have something that you can provide, you're all about adding value. So if you have all of those qualities and you're transparent and you have a product, you have a service and a system, people will come and they're going to be interested in getting into it and having that service. So Kurt, so you're from Pennsylvania, correct? You're from there originally. You come to Jacksonville, you're working in Jacksonville. And one of the things I know you wanted to talk about, what you mentioned to me backstage, is you're extremely bullish on Jacksonville. What about Jacksonville is intriguing to you? Not only is the investor community, the real estate community, incredible, tight-knit community. There's tons of collaboration that goes on here in Jacksonville. Very unique compared to a lot of other cities. Something different here. But why are you so bullish on it? What is going to make Jacksonville the center of the universe for 10 years? What's different?
Yeah, center of the universe. That's my thing for Jacksonville. I think, I mean, I don't know exactly, but I've traveled quite a bit. I've lived in, different areas, and I just kind of see the contrast. There's a lot of things happening here that I'm in love with. We've got the beaches. There's, no state income tax. We've got incredible weather, relatively cheap to live here. And, we've got an awesome governor that's doing awesome things for our state. We've had very little regulation and red tape during this whole COVID fiasco. And I think there is so much potential in our downtown area. So I used to live at the beach. I've lived, everywhere up and down the beach in my time here. And my wife and I, we moved to the San Marco area about 2 years ago. And I really love downtown. Obviously, it's the downtown areas have been, there hasn't been a whole lot of churn and movement and investment over the years, but I think those things are starting to change. And I think that there's a lot of great things happening. Lots of, housing, multi-unit housing projects going on downtown. Just a lot of excitement that will hopefully rejuvenate and revitalize this downtown area and make it, a city that young people want to live in, just like Nashville and Los Angeles and New York and, all these other places that a lot of young folks move to. And I think over the last year, we've seen a ton of stats pointing and saying that there's so many people moving to Jacksonville. We've seen it in the home inspection business. I mean, every day we're turning down inspections because we just can't handle the influx of folks coming from out of state and wanting that, no state income tax, less regulation, better weather, beaches, and just all this opportunity that's here. And I think we're just ripe for, massive growth and amazing things that happen downtown.
So I'll say this. So before we even got on the show today, I was walking around in my apartment just thinking about like how the market's doing. I don't know, in the Al Nicoletti head, right? Like I don't even know like what the real estate end is. But I was thinking, COVID really changed things for downtown. A lot of people don't have to like commute downtown to work anymore. They can work from home. And I was thinking, well, I guess that's it for downtown. And then I'm talking to you and you're like, downtown's like the it spot. Did you see COVID change anything with downtown in your mind, even because you moved there 2 years ago, then COVID hits and then it's coming back to life. But like, where do you see the positives for downtown? Like, what are those projects now that you see coming to life that's going to attract people to go back downtown?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's any specific project. I know there's a lot of folks working on a lot of great things, but I know our mayor's doing some good stuff. I know that just in general, I'm a fan of urban environments. And so, with our downtown lacking a little bit over the years, I think that it's with all the people moving here and the influx of jobs and everything that's happening. I think it's ripe for just growth. I think there's going to be a lot of people that want to see downtown thrive. We've got, the Jaguars on the rise now with, new quarterback, new coach, all this good stuff. Mayor. One thing I didn't touch on is that Emerald Trail. So a lot of the folks have maybe heard about the Emerald Trail over the last couple of years, but it's a project, basically a nonprofit organization that's really spearheading this whole entire network of trails, parks, walkable bike paths, things that really young people want to see in their city that we don't have, a ton of, or it's not super organized. And what the Emerald Trail is it's just that whole network, building and restoring these different areas to make it, just an area that young people want to live in. So, and that's happening. I think they just got approved for some $130 million coming from one of the taxes that just got implemented. And so I think it's a good thing. You touched on the Spikeball tournament that we've been putting on these last couple of years. The organization that we've raised funds for is Groundwork Jacksonville, and they're the ones that are spearheading the Emerald Trail. So
Yeah, so tell us about that too, because that's community, right? That goes to like you being the influencer in the community with the whole crew, Pablo and Tim, like everybody's coming together and making this Spikeball tournament that's every May. This has been the second one. It looked like a huge success all over the social media pages. I think Tim was even on the news station where they were promoting it. So like, how did you all start that? Because you're a big leader in the community. It's a community thing, bringing everybody together. How did you start it? How did that all come together?
So, I'll be honest, I was down in Ocala with a buddy. We had played Spikeball the previous week. This was like last year, probably right in the middle of COVID. And I just said, I'm kind of tired of it. No one's been outside doing anything for 6 months now. And, Spikeball was relatively safe. Everyone's kind of social distance, 6-10 feet apart. And I just decided, hey, I said, Jake, I'm going to put on a charity Spikeball tournament. And I just started working on it. And, it grew into something that I didn't think that it would really get to, but I just wanted to get a bunch of people together, get them outside, have a good time, raise a few bucks for charity and call it a day. And the last year's event, we ended up having like a 32 team charity Spikeball tournament. Ended up being amazing. Like everybody that came to it said, that was the best event that I attended all year. Now, granted, there wasn't any events going on last year, so it was pretty easy to get that, to have folks to say that, but it was amazing. I mean, a lot of folks had a lot of fun. A lot of folks met each other. So, Pablo started getting a crew together to play Spikeball every once in a while. That kind of morphed into, a couple of different groups kind of all merging. Became this really, and we all still kind of play every Sunday morning in Atlantic Beach, but it became this like amazing little community of mostly real estate folks that want to go out, get a little bit of exercise on Sunday morning, socialize, and usually go grab a hamburger and a beer afterwards and talk about real estate. So it's become really awesome. And then this year, that whole crew, everyone kind of pitched in to put on just a much bigger, better event. And so we had a 64 team tournament this year, and it was amazing. So it was really good. We raised about $6,000 for Groundwork Jacksonville, and awesome turnout, amazing weather, just a whole lot of fun. And so I think we're going to do another one next year, a third annual tournament.
So you're an entrepreneur, you have goals. What's the goal for next year? How many teams are you all looking for? And how much money are you all looking to raise for Groundwork Jacks?
No idea. I'm not going to put a number on it right now.
But I'll hold you accountable. Let's go.
But probably keeping it at 64 teams. We struggled to fill all the 64 teams this year, but I think next year, a lot of, like every time you do something, you always find ideas to get better at it and just make it better. So we already have some ideas for making it better next year, but man, it's going to be a good time. It's a great time.
What's the community been to you, Kurt? Like the whole real estate community. I mean, it's got to be so different. For me, it's different, right? I came from Miami. This is not in Miami. This is barely in other cities. What has it been like for you? It's got to be it's just incredible. The people here, you can get together with people. It's business friendly. It's a different environment.
It is, yeah. It's super close knit. So, in my shoes as a home inspector, I'd be lying if I said we didn't make mistakes once in a while. And so it is paramount that we, treat people right and make them right if we miss something or have a bad inspection. So that's incredibly important, is just making sure that, you don't lose your credibility. But yeah, it's super close knit. Everybody that attends the Yellowbird events, pretty much everybody knows each other. Those are awesome. And that group has done an incredible job of creating a close-knit real estate community where really everybody helps one another. But it's very cool here. I don't have any experience in any other cities or states with real estate, so I can't really touch on that. But I just know here it's amazing. I mean, just attending a few events, you get to know a lot of the heavy hitters and a lot of the influential people that are making a difference.
And then I get to have Kurt Stein on my show that I haven't even met in person. Right? Look at that. Perfect.
We've been at events before, but yeah, maybe never said hello to each other. But this is
that's Yellowbird event when you have like 250 people there and you can't get to everybody. Yeah. So Kurt, on my show, I always have signature questions. I don't know if it will apply to you for the inspection stuff because they usually apply more to the investors or the realtors, but maybe there's a little twist in the take that you can answer with some of these questions. But with your business with inspections, what is one of the most important tips for locking up that inspection, that deal with that customer? Like how do you lock it in and lock it up and say, I got you, let's go?
Really good question. We don't sell anything. For us, we are so kind of hands off. This is what we do. This is the price. This is how we do it. We really let our customers, our realtor partners, and our online reviews speak for themselves. So we're not gonna try to sell anybody on anything. It's literally, if you want to get on our calendar, that's kind of how we leave it. We really send everybody to our website to schedule it on there. And if they want to schedule it and get on our calendar, that's totally on them. Yeah, we don't sell anything. We almost, I mean, and it's true, but we're kind of more scarce than, I don't know, I guess our service is scarce. We're always booked out 6, 7, 8 days. And so, if somebody wants to get on our calendar, they got to move quick to get on that calendar. So that's pretty much how we lock it up. But yeah, we let our past inspections do the talking.
You're able to lock it up by saying, hey, if you don't get on our calendar now, you're not getting on. And
it's incredibly true. And it's been even more true since COVID and everybody moving here. Yeah, we're always booked up 6, 7, 8 days. And then, it's the truth. So.
Well, my next question would be, how are you building trust between you and the client? But then I feel like you would piggyback on basically what you said. I mean, it's just having the system, being forthright, being transparent, right? Communicating, that's how you're building that trust with those clients.
Yeah, it's really every point that we touch them. So if they're on our website, it's a very clean, modern website. Like you said, everything's transparent. We lay everything out. There's no hidden secrets. There's no hidden fees or anything. All the pricing is right there on the website. And yeah, we've got 500 5-star reviews on Google. And yeah, most of our business comes from referrals. So we're not really out there selling, like I said. So
worst thing you've ever seen during an inspection?
Oh gosh, hundreds, thousands of crazy stuff we've seen. Every week it's something. So our team, we've got, a group message that we just go back and forth with one another all day, every day. And so everybody's always running into something crazy. Honestly, and I hate to say it, but the property we just bought on Emerson is pretty rough. So it's definitely a project, but there's been a lot of just really rough properties over the years. Never had like roofs caving in or anything, but lots of some pretty significant foundation issues. Yeah. Lots of just stuff. I got one. All right. So we had a property in a certain neighborhood in Jacksonville. This was maybe 6 months ago. And I was just popping by, just saying hello to my inspector, and there I get to the property and like all the glass is all shattered, it's all, shot out. And I get inside and there's about 20 bullet holes scattered throughout the house. And it was really, really sad. There was a, child's toy on the ground. There was actually blood splattered on the walls. So that kind of really hit home and really kind of put everything into perspective. Like, that was some serious stuff that we saw. But yeah, so that's not fun. But, and then there's, the other side of it where we do have a lot of fun and we get to meet a lot of great people and get to see really cool houses. Our Instagram page, if folks aren't following us in the Jacksonville area, yeah, it's HouseScan FL is the tag. And we put all kinds of crazy stuff that we see and good tidbits, tricks, just interesting houses, and a lot of great content goes on that page. So definitely give us a follow.
We'll make sure we have all the chyrons. We'll keep putting them up there all the way until the end. But Kurt, thank you so much for being on the show. For those, who are you looking for to reach out to you, obviously for the inspections and the exterior house cleaning, but who are you looking for to reach out to you? Is it the realtors? Is it just the everyday sellers and buyers? Is it even the investors? Who are you looking to reach out to you and get more business?
All of the above. A lot of our business comes from realtors. They just love our service. So, but there's a lot of folks that, will find us either online or just see our trucks driving around. We work with a ton of investors on, inspecting their houses either before they purchase it or before they put it on the market, just to have that, that once through before it goes out and potentially, deals falling through. But yeah, it's all of the above. Anybody dealing as buying or selling real estate, we'd love to work with you.
And we got the Instagram page. We got we got the Facebook. We got, I think, did we have the phone number up there too? Yeah, we'll get there. And then all the other stuff right there. Yeah, we got the phone number. So if anybody that needs inspections, call Kurt. Kurt's the man. He's the pro at this stuff. So it is HouseScan Inspections and House Bright Jacks, right? The exterior cleaning. And Kurt, thank you so much. Do we have any questions? Are we good to go? Kurt, thank you so much again for being on the Al Nicoletti Show. I can't wait to see you at the next event.
Same.
We'll link up. We'll link up and make it happen, man.
Perfect. Can't wait. Thanks so much, Al. Get it, man.
All right, everybody, if you want more content like this, make sure you check out the Al Nicoletti YouTube channel, the Al Nicoletti Facebook page, the profile page, the personal profile, and the Al Nicoletti Show that is on iTunes and Spotify. I have all the guests that I've had on my show. I have so many that are dropping every week. There's still so many that are going to keep dropping every week. And then you have the live Al Nicoletti Show that is select Mondays. It's not going to be this Wednesday, but it's usually every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So make sure you check out all the content on all the channels. I have things on probate, partitions, quiet title, different real estate stuff. You'll see me just walking and strolling through neighborhoods and doing videos and stuff. It's a lot of fun. So make sure you check out all that stuff, and I will see you next time on the Al Nicoletti Show. Take care.